the end of my bid, I ended up catching a case with 15 other co-defendants on the C.O.s. Back in 2020, in the 1604, I was involved in that. You already know the treatment after that.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the best.
I got trashed and got shot with the pepper balls and everything. There's people that had nothing to do with any of that, still getting bit by dogs, just getting trashed. They were really going cell to cell in the hole, just trashing dudes.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with it. You know, a lot of people seen the news and stuff, because that spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
As they like to do in the max, every time a CO gets beat up. Man, where is this place? I never really heard of Walpole before till like I started getting locked up. So before me being there, I'm thinking it's just like Billerica, you know what I mean? Like I walk in there, you know, it's really like the movies. The bars is all on one side, the tiers. You know, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, this is about to be interesting, you know? Again, I'm like 20.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm young, so this kind of stuff is fun to me. When I walked in, I think I walked in at like midnight, 1 in the morning. You know, obviously gates are loud, so dudes jump up, go to the gate, stick mirrors out. Like, yo, incoming. What the fuck is incoming? Like, you know, I didn't know none of this stuff. So I'm like, all right. Next morning, yo, I had like half the block at my door. I'm like, who are you guys?
Ain't got a moment when they see you down, there's no they love and all.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got special guests with me today, so why don't you tell the people where you're from, your name, and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Gio. I'm from Somerville, and man, you know, just like a lot of guys on here, trials and tribulations, you know.
Somerville, Massachusetts, so explain that, like what part of Somerville did you grow up in, and explain like what that was like.
So I'm from Mystic Projects, you know, there's a lot of history that come with that. I moved over there when I was like, I want to say 11, so 2007 around there. And at first, you know, it was peace, you know, just being a kid, but then started getting curious and started getting into trouble. Started off just like anything else, stealing from the store to robbing and etc.
Yeah.
So I went to DY, I think it was the first time, 12, 13, for, it's been so long, I don't even remember, but yeah, I was over there. My first day was only like a couple months, then I went to a DCF program.
Okay.
In Framingham, Natick area, Brandon, I think it was called. They had me stuck out there for like a year and some change.
Damn.
So yeah, you know, they always like to give you the, oh, you'll be here for 45 days and then you go home. Shit, all right.
Wow. So they don't even give you like a
DCF
sentence, right? Like, oh yeah,
no,
3
like
months,
DCF,
5 months.
you know,
So how's that work?
So it's just, it goes by assessments. Depend like whatever category you fall into. Some are quick, 2 weeks, some 45 days, some 6 months. But usually they always go over. I feel like that's just a little thing to get you to actually behave and listen.
Okay.
But even if you do, you could be like a straight A student and see you later.
Don't matter.
It don't matter.
So you say you moved to the Mystic Projects at 11, right? So where were you before that? Were you in Somerville as well?
Nah, before that, I was in JP in Boston.
Okay.
So I was there for like a year or two. Before that, I was in Cambridge, right over in NC, Walden.
Okay, yeah.
Square. I was there for like 2 years, and then before that, I was born in Puerto Rico.
Oh shit! So you bounce around. At what age did you come here from Puerto Rico? Were you really young? Do you remember much about Puerto Rico?
I came here when I was 7.
7 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came right to Cambridge.
All
like
right.
I said, stayed there for a couple years.
So what was that like coming from Puerto Rico to Cambridge?
Crazy.
Talk about that transition.
That was crazy because I never seen snow before.
Okay.
And I came over here like I think November or December, Christmas time.
Okay.
As soon as the plane touches down, I see all the snow. I'm like, yo, Mom, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, that's snow. And then I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a jacket. I'm from the island.
Yep.
The moment I stepped out the airport, oh man, cold. I want to go right back. Just turn this plane right back around.
Especially at that age in Puerto Rico is all you know. So talk a little bit about what you remember from Puerto Rico, right? Like, what was that like? What was life like over there?
Positives or the negatives? Which one you want
I
first?
mean, what was your experience?
So
Either we'll start with the positive, I guess.
All right.
Your mother's dying wish was for me to take care of you boys. And I promised her that, and that's what I plan to do.
About every person I bring, nigga. is Africa.
Hold on, mama. Let me get the door.
Yo, who is it?
It's me.
It's me.
Hey, yo.
I guess.
So
What was your favorite part about it?
I was chilling, go to the beach down the street, always hot, so you don't have to overdress.
Right.
You know, I was young, so I used to just always run around barefooted, climb trees. You know, my mom was pregnant. She used to crave mangoes. So I used to climb mango trees for her.
Wow.
So like, you know, picture that type of random stuff.
Right.
So then, you know, the negatives all you hear, shootouts and
That's crazy, right?
that's crazy. What's it called? Like flooding. This is bad.
Okay.
That's once because I live close to like a river or what was a dam.
Oh, okay.
That's what I live close to, a dam. So anytime there was torrential rainstorms, break through. All you see down the street is just water moving, vans type shit.
Yeah.
Losing
That's crazy.
power. Low key, I miss it
Right.
because it brings that like calm and peace.
Yep.
But nah, I like the city too much. I'm good over here.
I hear you. So what was the transition like as far as like the language, right? Did you speak English in Puerto Rico? And when you came here, was that an adjustment you had to make?
It was an adjustment, but it wasn't like too big of an adjustment because when I was in Puerto Rico, I used to like watch English speaking shows and stuff, so I was able to catch on a little bit.
Okay.
But when I came over here, I went to the Martin Luther King / Amigo school.
Yep.
That's what it was back in the day. And they would have us do like a week in English and then a week in Spanish. So bounce back and forth. And then
Okay.
I think I picked English up pretty quick. I think it was like 2 months. I was fluent speaking.
Nice.
So it was quick. So that's why I wouldn't call that a big adjustment.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's easier for some than others, I guess, too. So what about like at home, right? Who did you have in your household, right? You have any brothers and sisters, both parents in the house? Like, do you know why you moved from Puerto Rico to Cambridge at that time? Do you remember?
So I don't know my dad. He left before I was born or whatever. So it was mainly just me. In Puerto Rico, it was me, my mom, and my grandma in the house. Then my mom met my sister's dad and got pregnant with her, and then that's when we was like, all right, maybe we'll come over here, better life, you know? And we did that and just been here ever since.
So you bounced around from what, Cambridge to JP, and then to Somerville? Is that what it was?
Somerville, yeah.
Okay, so what do you remember about like JP? How long were you there for? And like, tell me a little bit about
that. I was
that.
there for like a year or so.
Okay.
Just pretty much because while we were waiting to move from Cambridge, I don't know where my mom wanted to move to, but I remember her telling me that JP was just like a temporary situation.
No doubt.
So, but yeah, like I said, a year, went to school, seen some shit over there too, but you know, but I'm not too, you know.
So it was
crazy.
So it was a quick little, like a year or so.
That was like a quick little thing, yeah.
Okay, so then you moved to the Mystic Projects in Somerville. Now you're in the bricks and all that stuff. What was that like? What do you remember about that? And yeah, like what was that like? That got to be a little bit different being in the projects and so many people all kind of like lumped up close together. What was that like for you? Did you have a good time as a kid? Good memories and stuff like that? A lot of people.
Memories, you know. Like I said, at first everything was all peace and stuff, but then started
getting in
involved
trouble
in stuff I shouldn't have been involved in, you know, and
So-
then trouble starts.
A lot of times that the trouble might start like at school, right? Start getting in trouble at school. Was that the case for you? Like, how did you do in school during those formative years, like behavior-wise, and I guess with academically? Like, did you get good grades? And
Academically, I would say pretty good. You know, the reason I just stopped going to school, you know, it's like I'd rather do other things.
yeah,
And I started off at like 5th, 6th grade. Reason why I got held back twice back to back.
right.
But I didn't really like I was good academically, but I didn't really take it that serious. So I would just, when I was in class, I'd probably do something and get sent to the dean's office.
Right.
And then detention, I'd always skip detention, so it always turned to in-house, and then I skipped that, and then they just said suspended, so I just ended up getting kicked out from that school.
I mean, at that age too, most of the school literally is like showing up, right? You know what I mean? If you show up, you pretty much pass. So you say you started doing other things. Like, what other things were you doing when you weren't in school? Were you just staying home or playing? Were you all playing basketball? What were you doing?
I would go link up with the guys, go smoke,
Okay.
and then just form a plan to make money and shine.
So when you say link up with the guys, right? Were you hanging out with like older dudes, or were you hanging out with a bunch of kids like that were also like skipping and doing all that, a little bit of both?
Well, at the time, like you could say I always hung out with the older crowd, because everybody I used to hang around with, when I really started getting into trouble was like about 2, maybe 3 years older, and then I just started hanging out with my like age group, and then I think I was a bad influence, because that's when we all started getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's all good. Yeah, you was young too.
I was young. Can't blame me if that was the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about now? You're a little older. What about, you said you had a little sister? I guess, what was that relationship like? Was she kind of hanging out with the same friend group, or did she get in trouble? Was it like two completely opposites, or
two completely opposites? There's a 7-year difference.
Yeah.
So, like, she wasn't hanging around with the kids I was hanging around with.
That's a big difference at that age.
We did have like nothing happened, but like a strained relationship, because I was going like to DYS or DCF programs, or jail to prison, where we really didn't grow up to like as close as we should have. But I mean, everything's all good, you know.
No doubt.
Like, she graduated high school, which I didn't. She's in college, nurse, got a career set up.
Oh, that's
well, you know, while I'm over here, 30 years old, getting my shit trying to get my shit together.
I know. To some of us, it takes a little longer, man. Late bloomers, I guess.
As long as it gets done.
So talk about that first experience in DYS, and for the people who don't know, that's the juvenile like lockup. Like, where were you at? Were you at Harvard Street? And I guess talk about that.
I went to Chelmsford Kids.
Okay.
It's the Northeast region.
Okay.
DY.
So when you go over there, right? I mean, who are you? Are you mainly like with Lowell cats, or like were there other dudes from like the greater Boston area? Like what cities were really there a lot that you can recall?
Out that way is majority Lowell, some Lawrence kids, maybe the 1 or 2 kids from Boston I get shipped out, but it's usually just that like the northern. I don't know how like Somerville fit in with the Northeast region, but I guess it does. But that's all it was at DY. Rarely you had like a unit full with like our area.
So I mean, I take it there wasn't when you get there, there's no like issues from the streets that might carry over, you being from Somerville and them being kind of more Lowell cats, or what was the case with that?
That wasn't an issue.
Okay, so what about actually in there, and kids at that age? A lot of times shit could pop off anyway, even if it's not like stuff from the streets. Like, what was your experience in there? Did you get in trouble, or what was going on in your first experience in juvie?
My first experience, I was there short. I was there for like a month maybe. So I got out of it before I could really figure things out. I'm like, I've never been in a DY program, so I'm still trying to get a hold of my reality.
Okay, so talk about that DCF program, right? Was that like a lockdown facility, or was that somewhere where if you like had something you could escape? Or I guess talk a little bit about that. Did you go to school on site, or I guess talk a little bit about how that was set up, the DCF program?
So the one in there, that was the first one I went to. It was open door, but it was a campus. So they had like 5 houses on one campus, and there was on-site education. Okay. But they also had the option of going out. But that's one thing I wish I never did, because that was just crazy. It's like, you know, some people like could be there just for behavioral issues, you know, just like normal for whatever normal means. A normal kid just like to get in trouble, to somebody that really has like a mental health disorder or, you know, stuff like that. And that's not the type of crowd I want to be in, because literally when you talk about anything could happen, that those type of places is where anything can happen.
So, like, what kind of things were going down there? Like, do they got staff, like, restraining kids and kids acting out? Like, what kind of things did you see there?
Oh, yeah, just all sorts. It's like a zoo. You got kids acting out. Sometimes you do got the staff that, you know, doing something they shouldn't be doing, stuff like that. There's definitely a lot of abuse in those type of places. Yeah. You know? But that I went to 3 of them. Went to that one, I went to one in Haverhill, and then another one in Framingham. And eventually, you know how I told you that it's like a 45-day stay? That's the one they hit me with. And then a year later, I just got tired, and that's when I started running. Started running from them, and then I remember being on probation on the run from the program, because that was one of my stipulations. So I'd be on the run for like 3 to 6 months, get caught up, but because the warrant it's not like a regular criminal warrant, it's just like a missing persons warrant.
Oh, okay.
They'll grab you and send you back. I wasn't dealing with that shit, so I run back out again.
So when you're on the run, like where are you staying, and like what's going on? Like what's your relationship with your mom at this point? Is she kind of like writing you off, or is she kind of just like, you know, kids are gonna be kids? I guess how did things go as far as that? You know, because she's trying to take care of 2 kids, you know what I mean, and all that, and you know, she got one running around missing, or quote unquote, or whatever you want to call it. Like, what was that like? Where were you staying?
Well, that early on, me and my mom, we weren't getting along because she was strict, you know, but she would call the cops on me when I'm on the run. She'll see me, so I was like, I never would call her, never would go see her. I used to literally in the projects, we lived on the 2nd floor. I used to stay on the run on the 1st floor at my boy's house, and she wouldn't even know.
Wow.
I would see cops going in now, and I know they're looking for me because I could hear the steps going up and knocking on my door.
Wow.
And the whole time just laughing, like, look at you clowns.
Damn.
So
I mean, how do you eventually finish up from the juvenile system, right? Is that something where you eventually, you know, you run, you get caught, and then you get committed to DYS? Or talk a little bit about that. You just kind of age out of the system?
Yes, I got committed to DYS at 15 to the age of 18. Excuse me. My first sentence per se was 7 months, because it's like you get sentenced and then it's like a parole kind of situation.
Yeah.
So my first one was 7 months. I got out, and then I decided to start robbing people. So I go back in like 2 days.
Damn.
I mean 2 days, 2 months later.
Right.
For unarmed robbery, armed robbery.
Wow.
And so went back in 6 months. I think I'm almost like 17 at this point, and that's when they just say, yeah, we're just gonna keep you in.
Yeah.
Every time we let you out, you get into more trouble, you get more warrants, more cases, and we're just gonna hold you. So eventually I aged out from DYS at 18.
So at this point, what DYS did you age out from?
Striving Low.
Okay, Striving
right
Low.
on Merrimack Street.
Okay.
So
like why not like Metro? Why like out in Lowell? Was that just how, like, did you catch cases out that way, or they're just shipping you out that way? I mean, I was shipped out to Taunton myself for like no reason, but I know these things happen. But what was that about?
That's what I was saying. Like, the Northeast region is weird because it'll be just like Lowell, Lawrence, Methuen, that area, and then some way, somehow it stretches all the way down here to Somerville and Cambridge.
Yeah.
So, like, I really don't have an answer for that. They just send you wherever.
Yeah. Okay. So now you age out, right? Now, by the time you age out of DYS, right, you're 18. Do you got anything open, any open adult cases, or when does that become part of the story as far as, like, you getting arrested as an adult? Like, when does that happen? And, like, during that time in DYS, do you end up getting, like, your GED? Or, like, because I know you got to go to school, or how did that work? What happened with school as far as DYS? Because they pretty much make you go to school. So what happened there? Did you finish, or what?
So I was going to school, but I didn't finish in DYS because I was still going to high school and stuff like that. I didn't officially drop out till I was 18, and then I got locked up. I went to Bill Ricker like 5-6 months later, and then I did a year. During that year, I got my my high set.
Okay, so talk about that. You age out. What are the events that lead up to you catching the case and going to Bill Ricker? Is this something where did you sit waiting pre-trial in jail? Did you bail out, fight something from the street, cop out, probation? I guess talk about the events that lead up to you getting out of DYS and then eventually landing in Bill Ricker.
So what landed me in Bill Ricker was a domestic with an ex of mine. So, but you know, some females out there think that that shit's a game.
Yep.
You know, a restraining order comes with it. So one moment it was on some, if we were happy, the restraining order didn't exist. When she was mad, get out of here, I'm calling the cops. And I was young and dumb, and you know, so I caught that charge first, and then I did ended up, I think, getting a personal. And then
The
she
violation.
got mad at me and called violation. That's what landed me back. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not dealing with this. Give me whatever time you're gonna give me, and we're gonna close this book.
Yeah.
So that's what I took. They gave me two and a half, one to serve, the rest on probation.
Okay.
So, when I was in Borica, let's say, that was my first time. So, I really didn't get into shit.
Yeah.
But that's when I got my GED. Basically, I just sat back. Besides that, I just sat back and just got my good time to get out of there.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I was young-minded, so like I didn't care where I'm at or who's here. It's me. We're both here. I don't care where you're from. I'm that type of person with most situations. So like, I could walk in the room just like, whatever's going on doesn't faze me. You know what I mean? I'm in my own zone. I'm in my own lane. If it don't affect me, then I don't care what happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, but I did get out after that year, and then I was back in 3 months later for armed assault with intent to murder.
Jeez, three months. So, all right, when you get out, like, you said a year to serve, but did you have like a parole opportunity or talk?
I said no. I wasn't. I'd rather just finish out the year than just parole.
Yeah, because at that
like
time too, they're giving
7 months by that
what, they're
time.
giving 15 days good time at that time, or 12 and a half?
The record was 12 and a half, I want to say.
I hear you.
So it's like, by the time I get out on parole, I'm going to be in 6, 7, 8 months. By that time, I'm wrapping it up.
So you just like denied even going in front of the parole board
I
or
denied
anything
the whole
like that?
thing.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even send the paper, and the in-house parole lady was like, yeah, you're up for parole, why don't you send the paper? Oh, I don't want it, I'm just going to wrap this up.
Did you end up hitting CWP or work release or anything like that? Or did you wrap up from in the pods?
I wrapped up, when
Behind
I did
the
that
wall?
year, I wrapped up from B-Pod.
Okay.
B-Pod at the time, that was like, I don't think it was officially classified as this, but I want to say it was like the violent charges block.
Okay.
Because that's what like everybody with like guns, any type of violence was in. So.
Okay. So wrapped up straight from there.
Yeah, wrapped up, and then.
So how did you spend most of your time other than you did the school? Were you doing programs? I mean, were you working out? What kind of things were you doing to pass the time in there?
I would work out time to time. I mainly just played basketball, sleep all day, stay up all night, eat.
So what did you think about that experience when you got out, right? Did you think what did you think about doing time, especially that county time? Like, how did you feel about that? Did you feel like, oh, this is something like I never want to do again, or is this like, it's whatever? Like being so young, like what was your mindset as far as getting out? Like, did you want to do the right thing at first, or I guess talk a little bit about that, where your mind was at when you got out. Now you got this probation, and then the rest was suspended, I take it.
Yeah,
so like talk about like what your mindset was getting out. Did you want to get out and do the right thing, or did you just say, I'll be back to finish it, I'm gonna just kind of get out and keep doing what I was doing?
Well, my intention was to do the right thing, but all habits die hard.
Yeah.
The reason why my intentions was to do good is because my daughter was born 2 days after I took my deal.
Oh wow.
So my intentions was to stay on the street, to provide for her and be a dad. But again, I was young and dumb.
Yeah.
Just the year in jail didn't, honestly, since it went by so quick, it didn't feel like a year to me. It just felt like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So like, it really wasn't one of those things like, oh, I'm never going back because I had a real bad experience and stuff like that. It just to me, it just went like that, and it wasn't like enough time for me to actually like process a situation and stuff like that,
So what kind of things were you getting into as soon as you got out, right? Were you trying to find a job? Like what kind of things did you get out? You say you want, be there for your daughter. What was it? like obviously that comes, you know, kids are expensive, getting money. Like what kind of ways were you trying to get money? What were you doing? Did you have a plan when you got out, and what happened with that?
Well, for what I can call a plan at the time was just literally just, you know, get a job and get my shit together. You know, that's literally what was in my head. Didn't really think of how I was gonna do it or how I was gonna come.
Right.
But I'm like, all right, let's just get a job. So I had not a hard time, but like I thought a job would come to me faster than the time it was taking. So eventually, I was living in Lowell at the time, so I went to I got involved with these people called UTEC, which is like a ROCA out here in Chelsea.
Okay.
So like they help people out with the GED, Safe Serve, and carpentry and stuff like that. So I'm like, I told him like, I'm trying to get a job. Can't find one right now.
Right.
I already got my GED. I'm not interested in Safe Serve or carpentry.
Yeah.
I just need some type of income. So I was like, all right, whatever. Boom, got me set up. And I was doing that for a little bit. And then I think I got a job at Subway in a Walmart out there. And then I went back to jail.
So talk about that. What happens? What happens with this charge while you're on probation? What was your mindset going into like whatever happened? I guess talk about like what led up to that.
So the reason I called my state bid was because, you know, just I'm one of those people, if my brother goes in, I'm going in with him. So just so happened one time I seen somebody and they felt the type of way. I was like, all right, we could get into it. Shit happened. And I ended up stabbing him 4 times on his left flank. Got to get meth flight and stuff like that, and I ended up getting caught like 2 days later.
So, I mean, what's going through your mind with these 2 days? Are you anxious? I mean, you thinking you're gonna get caught? You thinking you got away with it? Like, what's your mindset like? Or did it just go so fast? I guess next thing you know, they caught you. And how did they catch you? They come to your house, catch you on the street?
So they actually caught me getting my paycheck from that UTEC place I was talking about. Yeah, so I guess they was waiting for me or looking for me that specific day. I don't know how they knew where I was at, whatever, but
they be knowing.
Walking down the street, I literally went to the spot, got the check, went to the bank, went to Dunkin' Donuts. On my way back up, the Middlesex Sheriff's Office warrant team and Lowell gang unit.
Oh damn!
Come tackle me. It was
okay.
Pretty funny.
So why the gang unit? Was that something that you were involved in? Are you involved with any gangs or anything like that? Or is this just how they roll? Or
well, they probably have presumptions. I mean,
because of who you hang out with.
So, really gang infested area out there. So
that's okay. Fair to say. So, I mean, those couple days, are you like expecting to get caught, or like are you not even thinking about it? It's just, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Like, what's going through your mind, or are you like preparing, like, all right, man, I'm about to probably get locked up?
Actually, me thinking I didn't get caught the first couple hours, I thought this dude kept it real and didn't tell.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was good. Either
Keep
he
the
was
street
dead
stuff
or I was good, one of the two, you know. And you know, a day go by, chilling. I'm at my mom's house, and I'm like, all right, but we'll just go back to my kid's mom's house. Boom, go see my daughter.
Damn.
Smooth. First thing I said walking in through the door was like, yo, did any cops come to the house? She's like, the fuck did you do now? I'm like, don't worry about that, but good, no cops came through.
Damn.
Then the next day, that's when, like I said, I had to go get my check, and they got me. Yeah.
And so what, I take it no bail this time, now you back in Bill Ricker, like waiting trial side, or do they violate you immediately? What happens with like probation and stuff?
So, I got hit dangerous.
Yep.
So 4 months no bail. I think 3 months into, no, I'm lying, 2 months into that, I just end up taking my 18 months suspended from probation. So I go to FPAR. At the time, FPAR was like Newman in Bill Ricker. Go over there, do the whole thing over again. Got into a couple of fights this time around, and that time, I'm not gonna lie, it was more fun. It was more fun than the first time. But like at this, by now, I'm like set in tune with everything, all the goings on, the politics,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
the complete do's and don'ts, and you know what I mean. So, but and so I did finish that sentence, and then shortly after I wrapped that up, I think it was like 3 months after I wrapped the 18 months up, I went upstate. I went to Walpole.
So you were still fighting that case that whole time?
Yeah.
So what kind of what kind of things were these fights over when you were at Bill Ricker? Just like stupid stuff, or like what did like anything have to do with your case? I mean, was the victim or anything like that? I would imagine when someone's a victim and they're telling that people are probably not going to have their back, but I don't know. Like what kind of things was going on with that?
A few things I got into it was just basketball.
Yeah.
Some people are sore losers.
Yeah,
Some
that's
people
okay
got
word.
loose
Sports.
lips. Poker, fucking,
Oh
just stupid shit like that. So I don't play poker no more. I stopped.
yeah. So you owed money? Somebody owed you money, or were people just mouthing off at the poker table?
I didn't owe, nobody owed me. Just like
okay.
I said, when one of the guys goes, I go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And just unfortunately,
That's what
happened,
happened.
you know?
So, all right, now if you're getting into it with one of the guys that go and you jump in type of deal, so like how much time you get in the hole? Usually something like that, third man in, it's like a month or so. Like usually a fight's like 10 days and then the third man in. At least from my recollection, it's been a while. But like how much hole time did you do, and talk about like what that was like for you in the hole?
Okay, so in Bill Ricker, multiples was one multiple I got 15 days, then the other one was 20 days. So it was like 3 on 2. So 10, no, we all got 20. Me and my guys got 20, the other one got 10 and 15.
Okay.
So that's how it worked in Billy. And then in the max, it's just anything multiple is just 15 days and kick you back out.
Yeah.
And they recycle you. So you go to the hole, super max, stay there for like a month to 6 months, depending on how much trouble you get into.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the green side where it's just the regular max.
Okay. So wait, you talk about the max. I'm talking about. I thought we were talking about Bill Ricker at this point.
Yeah, I went from Bill Ricker and then.
Okay. So now you're doing all this time. You ever think about did you try to get like a plea deal while you're doing your probation time so you could get the sentence forthwith and not have to do the whole probation time, or was it an on and after thing, or were you fighting it? I guess what was going on with that case taking like. I know sometimes it takes a while. You got to get indicted and all that stuff. Like, what was going on with that? Was that something you were trying to get a plea deal to, so you could go upstate right away and then forthwith your county sentence, or what? And what happened with that? And did you get any credit by the time you went up? I mean, because you were doing probation time.
So the reason I stayed in the county so long was because I wasn't trying to get forthwith. I was trying to get, I forgot what the other term is, but it's the one that counts all your time. Because probation doesn't always like to count.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened with me.
I mean, sentencing sometimes doesn't always like to count your probation time.
Right, it's like dead time almost.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why I sat in there so long. I'm like, if this time isn't going to be counted, I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
I might as well just, But at first, I was going to go to trial because this dude couldn't be found. And then I made up my mind to take a deal because he ended up catching a case and went to Middleton.
Oh, damn. And then when he started cooperating with them, like, I mean, how long
He's
did
been
it take for you
from
to
day
get,
one.
did you get indicted right away, or did
I got
he have to
indicted
come
in,
through
like-
to, like, testify first?
Nah, so he basically, described the whole situation and picked me out on a photo array.
Oh,
and
yeah,
signed
yeah.
it.
Okay.
You
So
know
you
what I
got
mean? So-
indicted right away, probably, yeah.
I think like a month or so. And then, so I got indicted in like a month or so. And then I think altogether I was in the county for like 21 months.
Yeah. And how much of that 21 months did you get counted towards your state time? And what was that state sentence ultimately, right? Because that was what, an attempted murder charge, I take it?
It was.
And talk about like did they lower that on a plea to just assault? Like, you know how they do.
Yeah, so
Talk about that, the plea deal, what that was like.
So when I got arrested, my charges were armed assault with intent to murder and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. When I got indicted, they dropped the armed assault with intent to murder and hit me with armed assault in a dwelling. So in other words, trying to make a scene like I ran in the house and did whatever I did type shit. And then the assault and battery, dangerous weapon, and causing serious bodily injury. And then there was like 2 more other charges. And then, so I copped out to I took time for the assault and battery, dangerous weapon, causing serious bodily injury. I got 2.5 to 4.5 for that. And I took it, like I said, 21 months into being in Billerica. I wrapped that up around 16, 17 months. So I only got like 3 to 4 months credited for that whole time I was down there. You know? And then I went up. At the time, it was still Walpole.
Yep. Okay.
So I went to B2, then B6. You know.
So when I went upstate, Concord was classification, and then it switched over while I was there. So I did my whole statement in Concord. I got modified to stay there. So describe Walpole for me. What that was. I mean, you hear stories about Walpole. It's an old building. I guess talk about like what that was like pulling up to Walpole after your court and all that, and you get your sentence. I mean, talk about that. You anybody in the van with you or anything like that, or talk about that experience when you first get there.
Yeah, I mean, and the van ride, that van ride was long as hell. I'm like, man, where is this place? I never really heard of Walpole before till like I started getting locked up. So before me being there, I'm thinking it's just like Billerica, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. I walk in there, it's really like the movies. Like the bars. It's all on one side, the tiers. I'm like, oh shit. You know, like, okay, this is about to be interesting, you know? Again, I'm like 20. So it's like, I'm young, so this kind of stuff is fun to me.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Experience too.
It's an experience, it's a new adventure. That's how I got life, it's an adventure. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we get into now.
Right. I feel like especially first time because it's all new. I feel like when you got to go back after you already did stuff, it's like, that's when it like hits you a little bit different. So you get to Walpole, right? So talk about like, how does it work? I always hear about like the politics of like, where you have to sit and stuff like that. How do you like know where you got to sit? You get there, the people you know up there. How did that work out for you?
So for me, right, when I walked in, I think I walked in at like midnight, 1 in the morning. You know, obviously gates are loud, so we just jump up, go to the gate, stick mirrors out. Like, yo, incoming. What the fuck is incoming? Like, you know, I didn't know none of this stuff. So I'm like, all right, everybody. Still with the mirrors, I'm looking up. Everybody, trying to get the right angle to see who came in, you know, in case it's the beef or whatever. Look at a couple of mirrors and just go to my cell. Next morning, I had like half the block at my door. I'm like, who are you guys? And they're like, oh, my name's this. I'm from here. I'm from there. Where you from? What's your name? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, oh, Gio. Some of them from Mystic. And then, okay. Did anybody like let you know how it works up here? I'm like, well, I walked in at 1 in the morning. Who's gonna let me know anything? You know? So whatever. He's like, I got you. So he's like, all right. Went to breakfast. He's like, all right. That table's Worcester. This is the king table, blood table, whatever. And I'm like, and the Middlesex table over here. So, that's how I sat with the guys, whatever. And that chow hall was big. I never been to like. Obviously, Billerica behind the walls, a small chow hall. And there's like a big block, there's multiple lines. I'm like, oh, okay, we really in the movies for real, you know? So that takes forever though. It takes forever to get down to that line. And it's like, let's say we all sit at the same table and there's like 20 of us from the way. I get in there last, right? Boom, I would have had to stand up because it'd be like one of you guys will hurry up and eat so I can sit down and shit like that. So that was constant movement. So it was real organized. I'm like, okay, I could do a bit like this. It don't look like there's too much bullshit. Everybody's walking a fine line, you know. Then I think I was there for like 3-4 months because when I was waiting for classification, they were like, oh, you're young. One of the, the 3-0 vote system. So one of them thought that I'd be a good fit for Shirley Medium, while the other two thought I was a good fit for the Max.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So they was like, oh, maybe you should put in a pill or whatever.
What do you remember what your points were at that point?
17.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know what that meant at that time.
Right, I
So
thought
I'm
12. I
like,
think 12 is
17
max.
points. Yeah, 12 is max. So, but I'm not paying attention to none of that. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to, go to the next step, like, next chapter. But yeah, it was like, oh, you should put a appeal in, which sounded suspect at first. I'm like, it's like, I don't. All the people, you only telling me that? So I go back to the blog. I'm like, yo, telling my mans, like, yo, this is what they said, because he's been up the way before.
Yep.
So I'm like, yo, does it usually go like that and whatever? And he's like, yo, they said put an appeal in, fuck it, don't hurt. So what is he going to say is no.
Right,
So I'm like, all right. And then I ended up messing that up in the middle of the appeal process. They caught it smoking up in the gray side.
Okay, so you're definitely heading up to the backs after that.
Yeah.
So talk about that, right? Because Walpole, it's got a reputation and all that, but at this point, it's classification. It's kind of different. People coming and going, you know what I mean? And now you get to the max, it's a little bit different. Like, people have been there for a while. They got their own politics. So I guess talk about what it's like when you first got up to the max, and I guess that first day or two, like, what was that like? The adjustment period and stuff.
So you know how it is, all the rumors behind the max, like what everybody says, all the stories. Mm-hmm. So like, obviously I never been there, so I hear all the stories and I'm like curious, like, is it really like that?
Right.
Whatever. A good sign was that in the cell they locked me in to strip, it really says "Welcome to Hell" at the top. I'm like, I think that's a good sign that this place sucks. So whatever. After I get stripped, I see even the property C.O.s run, right? And I'm like, oh shit, son went down, son, It's the max. It was an 8-on-2, and the 2 got med flighted.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like, okay, we want some real gangsters now. Yeah. I'm young, I'm into this shit, I like it, so. But the thing about the max, though, is like, all the stories, they sound like it's on a constant basis.
Right.
Like, it doesn't happen day in and day out.
Right. Oh, it might happen like on a different unit or something
it's not,
like that.
like,
It's not always popular.
That's how people say, like, oh, it could be like one unit here, but it's like, people really, like, when people hear that, they expect it like, this unit right now,
right?
The next unit, a minute later, you know what I'm saying? Then the next unit, like, something constantly jumping, and it's not like that. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, when something goes down, it does go down.
Right.
You got a whole bunch of gang members up there. One goes, they all go.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, as long as you're not in the bullshit. Yeah. And like, you're not being a crash, doing things you're not supposed to do, doing things that if you get caught, that's your ass. Yeah. Then you good. Stick to yourself, like,
How were the C.O.s up there as far as the max? Are they like the same as everywhere? Are they a little like worse, better maybe? Are they a little bit more respectful? Because I know C.O.s were getting stabbed up there and crazy stuff. So like, what was their treatment towards you as a different person to person basis?
So the treatment towards me was, I would say, the average at first. So the end of my bid, I ended up catching a case with 15 other co-defendants on the C.O.s back in 2020, in the 1604. Yeah, I was involved in that. You already know the treatment after that.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the best.
I got trashed and got shot with the pepper balls and everything. There's people that had nothing to do with any of that, still getting bit by dogs, just getting trashed. They were really going cell to cell in the hole, just trashing dudes. Yeah, that had nothing to do with it.
Are you talking to your mom at this point? With like, what's your people on the street saying? Like, what, because then sometimes they might not understand how it is, and they think do not want to come home. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I was getting a lot of shit for it.
I bet.
My bro, he was pissed. He was talking about, what's wrong with you, bro? Right. Everybody's on the same type of time. My mom luckily didn't know. A lot of people seen the news and stuff, because that spread like wildfire. Yeah. As they like to do in the max, every time a CO gets beat up, you know what I mean? They make it seem like it's always us doing the wrong.
For no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. But you're over here calling a Spanish man a spick, and he's doing life. You don't expect him to do something? Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially when there's already been, like, so like the situation was this, it was like a lot of unfair treatment. Yeah. So like in that unit, 91, it was, if you were somebody with like influence, or if they just flat out didn't like you for whatever reason, then you can't get no type of job, like being a block runner. In the max, it's like the flats, the first floor is double cells, and then the top is singles. So there's a list that goes by seniority. That whoever been the longest moves up, get the single. You know, if they didn't like you, boom, back to the bottom of the list. And it just so happened that one of my co-Ds had already caught a case on one of the COs running the block. So that off the rip was a huge conflict of interest. You know, so, but you know, there's a lot of, naturally there's this animosity between, you know, convicts and the COs. So, but sometimes you don't need brute force. Sometimes you could talk about it, you know. And luckily, at first, that's what, you know, we all decided to do. Let's talk about it, whatever. But you can't try to talk with somebody that is just ignorant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So
the C.O.s is always talking mad shit, and you know, after trying, that one comment was the straw that broke the camel's back. And you know, I'm not proud of it, but shit.
So, all right, talk about like the repercussions. What comes with that? Do they put you in the hole? Is DDU still a thing at the time? And like, what happens with court? I guess, I mean, I'm sure if you're catching outside charges, you went to the hole and all that. Like, how long were you in the hole for? And then what happens like with the charges? Is that something that you have to plead out to more time to? I guess explain that for me.
So well, funny thing real quick. After that situation, I actually made it 2 days before they found me in the camera. So I thought the whole first 2 days, I'm thinking I got through. You know, for the first day, the unit didn't even know I was still there. So somebody started talking, and you know how people is, they try to like amp shit up. So I'm like, they said my name and try to amp it up or whatever. I'm like, bro, shut your mouth. You know it didn't go down like that. I don't even know why you even said my name to begin with. You know, because it's on the tier. We're locked in. It's being yelled.
Screaming that shit.
You know, so I'm like, whatever. Which it might have been my fault why I got jammed up, because I should have never said anything.
Right. I mean, it's good to have accountability too, but shit happens.
Yeah. So, and then that's when everybody, once I said that to dude, everybody's like, "Oh shit, you're still here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm out of here."
Right.
You know? And then just the next day, like that.
So almost like dry snitching kind of deal. You know what I mean? Yelling it loud enough, like I don't know if that got the C.O.'s attention
I don't know.
Next thing you know, they pulled up on you though.
They got me. They brought the CERT team. I forgot what they was calling them, the QRF.
Okay.
We used to make fun of them. Quick reactionary force, but you guys take forever.
Right.
Somebody would have been dead. You know what I mean? But yeah, now they came in. All I hear is the cuff port. Clink. Wake up. Dude telling me, "Oh, go to the back of the cell, your hand up."
I already knew what time it was.
I'm like, all right, whatever. I even tried to tell them, "Yo, the door's pegged." You know what I mean? So whatever. Boom, they finally get in and grab my hands. They spin me around. They start punching me, whatever.
Wow.
And shit, I'm still trying to get into it. I rip my hand back. I try to get a couple off. I'm like, I'm like in my head, I'm like, they here getting me. They know, so I'm already getting charged. Might as well just go all the way out. But I didn't get charged for that, luckily, because that would have been even worse.
I know that would have sucked. They hit you with the pepper. Is that when they hit you with the pepper ball?
Yeah, I got shot here. They got me here, and then like grazed me somewhere over here because they were shooting as I was getting spun and getting trashed. So, eventually, they dragged me out barefooted, got the dog, walked me backwards all the way to bucket and had the cuffs mad tight. I still got cuts on my wrist from that shit. My hands are swelled up like crazy purple.
That's fucked up.
And I'm like, all right. It's not so much as bothering me because it's numb, you know what I mean? So there's no pain. But I needed to take a piss. And the CO was like, "Oh, we got to get the nurse to see how your hands are doing first before they uncuff me, whatever." I'm like, it makes no sense to me, but whatever, cool. And the nurse comes in, she looks at my hand. Like I said, they're swollen and purple. And she's like, "Oh, his hands are fine."
Figures.
I'm like, that wasn't even the issue, but that comment made it the issue. I'm
Right.
like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, I don't study this shit, but even I can tell something's wrong.
Damn.
You know? But that's how they all are. You know? The nurses
They're all in
and
cahoots.
everybody, I feel like if you work in that building, they try to brainwash people.
Yeah,
You know?
that makes sense.
Yes, a lot of them are polite, they're cool, respectful, you know? But then what really messed it up was that they started closing down a lot of mediums. So all the C.O.s from the mediums that have that medium attitude, that feel like they can just disrespect whoever and be like, oh, come on, get the fuck up, get the fuck out of here, whatever, you know? They came to the max with that attitude. And that
Caused a
the
lot of
dude
conflict.
that started the situation with me came from Concord, matter of fact, when they closed it. So off the rip, we already knew he was gonna be a problem. But we try to level with the guy, like, yo, listen, you know, we understand. Like a lot of us I never been into a medium, but a lot of the guys in the unit been to mediums, and they're like, yo, we already know how you C.O.s are. This is a whole different world. Believe us, nobody likes to get into shit, but nobody will hesitate to. You know, so we don't want to push y'all. Don't push us. We could just, you know, be cordial about everything. If something I'm doing bothers you, I'm a man enough for you that you should be able to come up to me and be like, yo, listen, I really don't care you do it, but just, you know, try to like calm it down or whatever. I got no problem with that. You know what I mean? Just don't come at me talking mad shit, order me to do shit. I'll just tell you, beat it. Crazy. You know what I mean?
A lot of times, it's not what you say it is, how you
it's
say
how
it.
you say it. Yeah, like, you know, like I get it. I'm supposed to abide by some rules. You know what I mean? And, you know, but if I get caught doing something, I know I'm man enough to be like, yeah, I did it, you know?
So what ends up happening? How long are you when this happens, and then, like, what happens with the case?
Okay, so when I went to the whole, DDU was still open at the time.
Okay.
So I was fighting a DDU ticket, and I was in the hole for a year. So I went in, if the shit was January 10th, 2020, I got out January 29th of 2021.
Wow.
So, but I actually got hit with 2 DDU tickets.
Damn.
One for the big thing, and then the second was when they came to trash me in my cell. Yeah. So they just try to spin it around that they only came and trashed me because I got wild. You know? So, but I beat that one, and then I got 5 years DDU time.
Damn.
But I'm like, I told the lady, I'm like, joke's on you, because I'm out of here in 3 months. So, you know, shout out to my brother, he bailed me out. Came home, I was out for 14 months fighting the case in the street, on probation. Then I ended up making my way back in. But during that 14 months, that was the longest time I've been out legally.
Wow.
Since I was like 12.
And you were fighting that case the whole
And I was
time.
fighting,
So what happens with the case? Do you plead out, or do you guys take it to trial, or what happens with the case? Because you said
a lot of us ended up pleading out. Me, I copped out. I took 4-4 in a day. I took 7 4-4 in a day concurrent. So, some of the guys got like 5 to 8. Yeah. You know, other guys had it all goes by your record. Yeah. So, whatever. If they got more time than me, then I'm just gonna assume their record was worse than mine.
Yeah, absolutely. So, where did you do this whole bid now up the max again? Obviously with that charge, and like talk about that. Like, do you eventually hit a medium at all? Or do you wrap from the max?
I went back to the max. Now the max is classification.
Yep.
So I literally walked in that building and didn't walk out till I wrapped up.
Damn.
I couldn't. It was. I'm not gonna say rough, but it was like, looking back at it, I'm like, damn. Like, they were really that salty. They wouldn't give me no type of job. Yeah. In the whole building. And kitchen, you know, the kitchen's a place that takes everybody.
Right, yeah.
I couldn't even get that. I'm like, what? Couldn't be a block worker. I had to make a big fuss about getting into programs to earn some type of good time. They wanted me to just do this shit day for day. Damn. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit. Nah, we gonna make something happen. And eventually, I got into a couple programs and then made it down to the reentry unit.
Okay. You know? And then, so you what was your plan this time now? Like we said, you know, the first time might be an experience, but you already did that. Now you're back. You already got into so much shit last time. Now you're getting short. Like, do you start, what's going through your mind? And do you start, you know, developing a plan for when you get out this time. What was the plan?
So the plan this time was, well, it was a hassle because I did parole out this time because they got the it's like a mandatory parole RTS.
Okay.
So, and you get those credits through programs. So like, I was able to get some credits for it through the 1 or 2 programs I was in, and eventually they granted me it, and literally tried the most they could to deter me from going to a sober house. They try to make it seem like I'm the worst and all that just because of that one case.
Yeah.
So luckily one of my boys was a house manager in that sober house, and he fought tooth and nail to convince the owner, like, yo, let him in, give him a shot. You're listening to C.O.s and parole officers that essentially don't care about any of us. They're biased.
Yeah.
Look, he got a case against C.O.s. Don't you think that's enough evidence to be biased?
Right.
And then she was like, you know what? I'll take him in, you know?
Yeah.
So
How did that go? How was the sober house? How did that go for you?
oh, that was smooth. That sober house, 42 living, best sober house. I only been into that one, but I could top down. It's clean.
Absolutely.
Everybody that goes is respectful.
Yeah.
And you can do like your own thing, you know. It's not like a sober house where like there's staff
Super
there.
strict,
So no, we run it ourselves.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So
It's a little different than a halfway house, right? It's more,
you're pretty much on your own. You know, just depending if you have your room got 2 beds or something. But as far as that, you're just by yourself.
Do you end up completing the parole?
Yeah,
You completed the
easy.
parole? Right,
That was
that's
easy.
what's
Once I was out for 14 months that time, I realized that I can really, like, if I really want to stay out, I can really stay out. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard at all.
So your mindset already pretty much changed. You just had this thing you had to go back and you just had to do.
You know what I mean? But I think it only happened because of my dumb mistakes. You know, I believe a mistake is not a mistake. It's not a mistake if you learn from it. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So
it's not a loss. It's a lesson, right?
Right,
So
you live and
I like
learn.
to ask, like, you know, you do what you can in prison and jail, right? You make the try to make the best of a bad situation. What was the worst part about being in prison and being up Shirley Max? What was the worst part about that?
That had to do with like the joint itself, or like
in general, maybe even just like you being away from your family. Like, what for you? What was the worst part about that?
Being away from my daughter, my family, my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Just all my loved ones. That's
So
really
what
it.
about the actual facility itself? If you want to just isolate it and just talk about what's the worst part about Shirley Max, right? Because you've been to Bill of Ricker, you've been to these juveniles. Like, what's the worst part about that?
The worst part I would say is like just the movement. Everything is just so segregated. Like, I get it, but it's like you don't have to, like, there's literally units that can't even go to the gym.
Yeah.
So it's like, or the yard.
Yeah.
Like, that's how the classification units was, and the supermax.
Damn.
But then but the jail will promote that we give them time for leisure and rec and programs. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what are some things you've been up to since you've been out, and what are you looking forward to the most moving forward in your life, bro? Putting this prison stuff behind you.
Like I said, everything is just, it's a process.
Yeah.
You know, I know all my, like, everything in my past, you know, it made me who I am today. I'm tired of all this back and forth stuff. So now I just been working. You know, I started working at this job 3 months ago. Now I'm already assistant manager.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's like, now that I'm, like I said, able to stay out and actually have the time and take the time to realize my situation and how I can better it, you know? And it's like, I never had the time to sit there and think, like, well, besides jail, that's all you had time to do, but like on the street, I never really had time to sit there and think, like, I didn't know that I could start a job today and possibly be a assistant manager in 3 months, you know what I mean? Like, now that I see that, it's like, everything, like, I take it as everything is possible if you put your mind to it.
Absolutely.
You know?
What's the main message you would want people to get from, like, hearing your story, bro? What's the main message you want to get out there to the people?
I would say that street life ain't worth it. It's gonna cause a whole bunch of problems. It's gonna ruin a lot of relationships. did to me. I missed a lot of opportunities, you know. So it's better off just to, you know, stay on the street and go about it the legal way.
Absolutely.
There's plenty ways to make money, even if ethical or unethical, as long as it's legal. Ain't nobody can stop you or say anything, you know?
Absolutely.
So
makes sense, man. So why is it important for you, and you know, why do you think it's important for you and others to come up and tell their story? Why do you think that's important?
Well, one thing too is like there's other people out there like you. You know, sometimes like might be a cliche, like, you know, music. Like, oh, people like certain artists because every song, bar for bar, chorus, whatever, can relate to you some way, somehow. So it's like a lot of people don't know that it's not just in music. Sometimes a talk show like this. Sometimes it could be a poster board somewhere with a quote. You know what I mean? And you know, that's all it takes. You could. It's limitless. You know, opportunities are limitless. You just have to, you know, form them and do it. You gotta put the footwork in.
And I guess before I let you go, if you had any last words for the audience or anything you wanted to touch on we didn't get a chance to, bro.
Nah, I think we good, man. Like I said, everybody just gotta find what fits them. You know what I mean? Find your lane, what works for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what about if people wanted to, you know, maybe, you know, the internet's cool as far as like you might be able to run into people that you didn't think you'd ever see again. If someone out there watching this, if they want to get in touch with you, you on Instagram, you know, let the people know where they can find you at.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, MPGski.
Okay. And I'm going to post a screenshot of that in the beginning, too, because, you know, whoever's sticking around for this whole thing, thank you for sticking through. And, guys, this is the Bounce Back Podcast. Remember, it is what it is. What's next is what you make it. On that note, we're out of here. Peace out, y'all.
Bounce back, ain't got a moment when they see you